Hello everybody, today we're going to take a look at the iron element batten. Now this is actually a new batten, okay, so you might remember the iron element batten. I did have a video of it. I have deleted the video because this is an updated video. Okay, now this batten here is one of the element battens that sits up on this wall here. Now this is actually a new batten because the old iron element batten was apparently shot, so I had to get a whole new batten. Okay, and I'll explain a little bit about that in just a second. Now this new batten is actually a bit different, and I'll show you what the difference is. But first, let's take a close look at it. Now, of course, this is a Davis batten. Okay, I did go with Davis because the Davis battens look identical to these older. So this is a Davis, this radioactive batten. You can see they look identical. Okay, the only difference is that these battens don't have bored through plates. As you can see, there's no starters here. Okay, that's because in all the newer Davis battens they don't. That's because they usually come with electronic ballasts. Now this one here is LED only because I made it that way. When I bought the batten, it came with the electronic ballast in it. So I completely gutted the batten. I took the electronic ballast out and I just rewired it just to run LED only. So there is no more ballasts in this batten anymore. So it is LED only. As you can see, there's even a warning sticker on there. Okay, sometimes you get that with some LED tubes. Okay, to let people know that you can't use fluorescent. You'd only put that on there if you bypass the ballast. If you don't bypass the ballast, there's no need to put that on there. Okay. Now this particular batten here joins up with the new air element batten, which you've seen there. I've got a video of that. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. It also joins up with the new sun radioactive and the new water and earth battens. Okay, so these ones here, these are all Davises. These are all brand new battens. Okay, all 6 of these. They're all brand new because the old battens were shot. The chassis, which is this part, the body of the batten had it. Most of the parts were carried over from the old battens, such as the tubes, the switches, the ballasts, and all that were all carried over. Okay, I did also update all these symbols too to a newer look. Okay, it actually looks pretty good. Okay, here's the iron element batten symbol. It's technically a dumbbell. Okay, on the old iron batten it was a sword. Okay, I've replaced it with a dumbbell. It's labelled iron on the front there. And this is actually a little bit lighter pink. This is not fluorescent pink like the old batten. It's actually just a regular pink. So it doesn't glow under a black light. Okay, the old one did. Okay, but this one does not. And also the middle, instead of it being white, I decided to paint it grey because iron is this colour. Okay, so I decided to paint it this colour to make it look more real deal. So that's actually more better for the iron element batten. So this is the new colour. Even made a new label for the here with grey. Now this is actually a more darker grey. That's a lighter grey, but it's grey. This is the same switch that was carried over. This one does have the neon indicator. Here we have the power port. This is a computer port. Now these LED tubes here do have starters, but the starters are actually hidden inside the chassis. If you look over there, you can see these screws on the side. That's where the starter receptacles are. So the starter receptacles are inside here. To change them, you've got to take the plate off. Okay, then you can get to the starters. It's the same with my Clevertronics battens. These two here have ballasts and starters in them, but the starters are actually inside the batten. So to change it, you've got to take the plate off. With this one here, you need a screwdriver. All you have to, with those, you just undo that cap. So those are a little bit quicker to change it. So yeah, this is a nice new batten. I'm actually pleased with this batten. It's actually a little bit better than the old one. The old one had a big fall. Now this was before I got the safety chains. It had a big fall a few years ago and the lamp holders actually broke. I actually hot glued them back on and I just decided just to scrap that old batten and just buy a new batten. So this is a brand new fitting which is replacing it. It's actually a new and improved fitting. Okay, same with this one, the new air batten. Okay, so the tubes here are T8 neutral white and they're both 20 watts. Okay, I'll show you the back of the batten here. Here's the other side. Here we have the same feet. Okay, these are the feet that came off the old batten. Got some Velcro on there for the Velcro mount right here. Now, I don't have the little D chain on here yet. It's because Bunnings was out of stock. Okay, next time I go up there, I will get one for this batten. Okay, and I don't know if you can see, but if you can see in there, you can probably see the starters in there. Okay, the starter receptacles are inside here. If you can see through the holes in the chassis, you can probably see the starters inside. So the starters are just here. Okay, they're right there inside the chassis. Okay, so I guess we better fire this thing up. Okay, so here we go. Now there we go. Now that is bright. That's 40 watts of LED, so that is pretty stout. It is pretty stout. I have done light shows with these tubes, and a lot of people have told me that they are stout. It's a little bit brighter than that tube I've got in there. Now these are very stout. Now these are actually were probably the first LED tubes I ever purchased. I bought these brand new at the Caribbean market like about 6 years ago, I think now. And these tubes are about 6 years old, or possibly older, and they still haven't blown. Although this one here, a bit of it has blown back here, but that's not a problem. It still lights up. But yeah, they're both still working good, those tubes. Okay, they might be generic, but they're good tubes. That just shows how long LED lasts compared to this technology. Now these tubes are still going. I've had these for probably about 5 years. That's because I haven't had them on very often. Okay, well these red and green ones have had some use because I actually use them for Christmas time. The yellow tubes I normally have in here and use to my main lights, and they're up there. Those I think are getting pretty old, but they are still going. The ends in them are starting to blacken, so they are probably almost on their way out. There was this store called Crystal Palace that's trying to track me down some LED tubes, coloured LED tubes that I can use in these. If they do successfully do it, I'll upgrade all these to LED, and I will do a video on the tubes. Okay, so yeah, that iron element batten is working great. I'm very pleased with it. Okay, so there you go. So that is the new iron element batten. So I hope you enjoyed, and that'll be it.